here, sitting here with Brad Jones.
Hey!
How's it going today, my friend?
It's good. It's our second weekend in a row where we've done a convention. We did too many games last week, and so we're running on some fumes. It'll be nice having a day off, but we're having a great time.
Okay. Now, a lot of people know, well, maybe they don't know, but you are the person behind Snobs.
Yeah.
And also Brad tries. So you've got quite a few different pies going on YouTube, but let's start with your beginning. Let's start with public access, because just like us, you used to do public access.
I did. We started that in high school, and I also did radio then too. I was a DJ for quite a while, and you know,
what kind of DJ were you?
I was a DJ for an oldie station.
Oldie station.
Yeah.
Best station to go to, actually.
Oh yeah, it was my favorite one there, so it was cool I got on there. So I was doing quite a bit, like a lot of multimedia stuff, and my buddies and I, you know, we all like watching movies and sitting around and shooting the breeze about them. So we had kind of a parody review show that we did where crazy things would happen. We'd be reviewing a movie and there'd be like someone tied up on the floor and we never mention it. Like, it's been a while, but I remember that one off the top of my head. And I'm sure if I went back and looked at it now, I'd be like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, thank God we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying you're grown up is what you're saying?
I think the writing's at least a little better.
Now, speaking of that, what got you into public access in the first place? What made you decide to make your own shows?
That's a good question. You know, I do remember my friends and we would be up late, having drinks, watching movies. This is high school. And we were probably a little high. And I do remember us sitting around, like, setting up the video camera, being like, let's see if we can do this, where we'll watch Sleepaway Camp or Caligula or something, and then talk about it afterwards. And then...
Two like films, yeah.
Yeah. In some ways, yeah. One thing led to another, and I think we were like, maybe we should try this on public access. And we did it for a little while. Then I moved away at one point, like 15, 16 years ago, and that ended that.
Okay, so now you're on YouTube, starting at, well, you more than started, but when you started on YouTube, what made you go to YouTube? What made you decide to keep doing more shows and different things?
It wasn't really a continuation of the public access show we had. I had a lot of free time. This is the beginning of YouTube, you know.
Right.
It's like 15, 16 years ago. And I had a lot of free time. I was in between jobs. I was mostly a partier back then. And I had directed some movies. I directed a few exploitation films and would have screenings of them and everything. And then YouTube started. And I was like, I could probably do something with that, like another parody review show. There wasn't a lot in the way of shows about exploitation movies and slasher movies at the time on YouTube. It was like me and Moronic Mark, he had a show, and so I was like, I'll do something with that. I'll play like a pretentious critic who's kind of being snotty about these movies. And
like a snob.
Yeah, exactly. I came up with the name pretty quick. And so I started doing that, and back then, no one even thought you could get paid for this, whether there'd be monetization or revenue or anything like that. Just did it because I enjoyed doing it, and continued doing it, and it started building up kind of a cult audience, and then got promoted by Spoonie, Noah Antweiler, and applied for Channel Awesome and got on there, and that made it even more popular, and was able to turn it into my full-time job.
Now, how long has it been your full-time job?
I've been doing it since 06 or 07. I've been doing it as my job since 09, I think. Because I think that's when I moved over to Blip, and Blip TV, which was, YouTube wasn't monetized at the time, but Blip TV was, and a lot of us moved over there. Then we started getting paid for it, and then it turned into our jobs, for some of us. And then eventually went back to YouTube when they started monetizing it.
When you're picking movies to review, does it have to have a certain criteria, or do you just
specifically exploitation movies and slashers and porno movies, yeah, it was kind of like, okay, it'd be something from back in the day. But the show's evolved since then, and the character has evolved since then, and now it kind of includes whatever I'm feeling. Yeah, like whatever I'm kind of feeling, honestly. It's like I have a mental list in my head of stuff I'd like to get to, but it really is sort of what I'm feeling that week.
Well, I also like the fact that on your Patreon that you have your Patreon supporters can help pick what you're going to be doing.
For midnight screenings, yeah. Oh, and yeah, there's fan polls on there sometimes too.
So I mean, that's kind of cool that you're engaging with the fans like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I put up videos early on Patreon as well.
Now, how do you feel going to these conventions and meeting the people that are actually supporting you and listening to them tell you about their ideas or how they feel about your shows?
Oh no, it's always cool. Like, you know, we love shooting the breeze and everything and talking about some obscure movies that we've done on the show. And what's cool now is, like, since we've been doing it for so long, we're meeting people that started watching us when they were kids. And I'm like, oh right, I am going to be 40 this year. Like,
so does it take you aback at times because you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this, these people know this, and I'm getting paid for this.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, you're counting your lucky stars.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, is there anything coming up that you want people to watch out for, or anything in the works? Because I mean, you've done a couple of films like Jesus Bro, you know, which is available.
Religious movie parody, yeah, because we review a lot of religious movies on the site sometimes.
Yes.
So saw enough of them to where I'm like, okay, I'm seeing all of the tropes of these. I could probably write a parody movie, and that's what we did with this. And we've done movie versions of the Cinema Snob too, like this is a road movie where they happen across crazy clowns and cannibal farmers and things like that.
Are you working on anything new like that? Or?
Yeah, I would like to get, because I co-wrote these. My buddy Ryan Mitchell directed them. But there's ones I direct. Like, I direct really micro-budgeted stuff. I did this dramedy called Disco. And I want to do some more. I was supposed to do something this year, or last year, I mean. Yeah. And no, I want to get back into directing something micro-budgeted again. But I do have a big episode coming up of the Cinema Snob on 1981 in film. The trailers for all the movies in '81. Right. I did one last year on 1980 movies.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I like that one a lot.
Thank you. That's one of my favorites.
All right, well that's cool. So everybody can watch you on YouTube at the Cinema Snob. Awesome channel.
You can find me on Channel Awesome.
Channel Awesome.
You can also find me, YouTube, Stoned Gremlin Productions, and we have our archive site. That's cinemasnob.com.
Cinemasnob.com. Now, can they order your films from cinemasnob.com, or where can they order them?
These you can find on walkaway.entertainment.com, Jesus Bro and another Cinema Snob movie, and our compilation, like uncut DVDs. This one, I believe, is just exclusively over on Patreon.
Okay. All right. Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. Seriously.
Anytime. Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to the next episodes.
Thank you.
Because it makes me laugh like crazy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and we'll be back with another interview in a few moments.